informed that he was very, very intelligent. He was not your average.
Deep in the honky-tonk bars and small venues of Bakersfield, California, lived a country music legend with strong beliefs and an even stronger singing style. Merle Haggard was more than just a revolutionary songwriter who spoke for America's working class. He was also someone who reportedly had serious problems with what he saw as fake guitar players and show-off musicians. The Oklahoma-born musician behind famous songs like Mama Tried and Okie from Muskogee was known for his no-nonsense approach to music and his strong commitment to traditional country values. Haggard once said that people should like his music, not like him personally, because he had lived experiences that others hadn't. This attitude apparently put him in conflict with several flashy guitar players from different types of music. According to reports, Haggard believed that guitar playing should help the song and tell a story. He allegedly told a Nashville session musician in 1971 that these talented pickers had forgotten that music was about connecting with regular people, not about impressing other musicians. This philosophy would lead to reported conflicts with 6 different guitarists who became famous for their technical skills rather than their storytelling ability. Eddie Van Halen and the athletic approach. The first guitarist who allegedly earned Haggard's disapproval was Eddie Van Halen, the rock virtuoso famous for his finger-tapping technique and stadium-filling solos. This reported conflict developed during the late 1970s when Van Halen's innovative playing style was changing how people thought about rock guitar. The tension reportedly began in 1978 when Van Halen's first album was dominating rock radio, while Haggard was working hard to keep traditional country music relevant. According to a country music magazine writer, Haggard reportedly complained to fellow Bakersfield musicians at a local bar that Eddie treated guitar playing like some kind of athletic competition. Haggard believed that real guitar work came from your emotions and life experiences, not from practicing finger exercises like a musical athlete. What reportedly bothered Haggard wasn't just Eddie's innovation, but his entire approach to what the guitar should do. While Haggard saw the guitar as a tool for telling stories that supported heartfelt singing about real-life struggles, Van Halen was becoming famous with what Haggard reportedly called acrobatic nonsense. These technical displays, in Haggard's traditional way of thinking, completely missed the point of what guitar should accomplish in popular music. Haggard allegedly told a Bakersfield radio DJ in 1979 that guitar should support your voice and help tell your story, not steal attention with circus tricks. He reportedly said that when you start doing handstands on the guitar neck, you've forgotten what music is supposed to be about. The tension allegedly got worse during a Nashville recording session where witnesses claim Haggard walked out when someone suggested adding some Van Halen-style techniques to a country song arrangement. Steve Vai and the laboratory approach. The second guitarist who reportedly clashed with Haggard's philosophy was Steve Vai, known for his technically perfect and precisely planned solos. During the 1980s guitar-focused movement, Vai reportedly became one of Haggard's most disliked examples of everything wrong with modern guitar playing. The conflict allegedly started in the early 1980s, when Vai was gaining recognition for his work with Frank Zappa and his solo instrumental projects. According to a Guitar Player magazine contributor, Haggard reportedly complained to his touring band at a Texas truck stop that Steve thought every note needed to be calculated and mathematically perfect. Haggard allegedly said that Vai had turned guitar playing into some kind of laboratory science project instead of letting it flow from your soul like it was supposed to. This harsh opinion allegedly spread through country music circles very quickly. What truly made Haggard angry wasn't just Vai's technical approach, but his complete disconnection from everyday people's experiences. While Haggard had spent decades using guitar to express the struggles of working Americans, Vai was building his reputation with what Haggard reportedly called alien music, compositions that, in Haggard's down-to-earth philosophy, served no purpose beyond showing off for other guitar players. Haggard allegedly told a Houston radio host in 1985 that music should speak to truck drivers and waitresses, not just other musicians. He reportedly said that when your music needs a college degree to appreciate, you've lost touch with what matters. The disagreement allegedly reached its peak during a music store appearance, where witnesses claim Haggard refused to try guitars that were displayed on the same wall as Vai's signature models. Joe Satriani and the instrumental focus. The third guitarist in this reported conflict was Joe Satriani, known for his melodic metal style and soaring instrumental compositions. Satriani's approach to guitar as a lead instrument rather than a supporting player in American music reportedly drove Haggard to complete frustration. The conflict allegedly intensified during the mid-1980s when Satriani was establishing himself as a premier instrumental rock guitarist with albums like Surfing with the Alien. According to a Bakersfield music producer, Haggard reportedly complained to studio musicians during a recording break that Joe thought guitar should be the whole show instead of backing up a singer with something important to say. Haggard allegedly said that Satriani had forgotten that instruments were supposed to serve the human voice, not replace it entirely. These critical comments allegedly spread through California's country music network very quickly. What particularly bothered Haggard wasn't just Satriani's instrumental focus, but his complete abandonment of vocal storytelling traditions. While Haggard had built his career using guitar to enhance powerful stories about American life, Satriani was achieving success with what Haggard reportedly called background music for video games, compositions that, in Haggard's story-centered worldview, ignored music's primary responsibility to tell stories that mattered to regular people. Haggard allegedly told a Fresno interviewer in 1987 that guitar was meant to accompany words that mean something to folks, not just show off for other guitar players to admire. He reportedly said that when you stop singing about life, you stop making music that matters. The situation allegedly became worse during a California music festival, where witnesses claim Haggard refused to appear on the same bill as any purely instrumental acts. Yngwie Malmsteen and the Foreign Influence. The fourth guitarist who reportedly earned Haggard's disapproval was Yngwie Malmsteen, the Swedish neoclassical speed specialist with his classical music-influenced compositions and confident attitude. During the heavy metal explosion, Malmsteen reportedly became Haggard's most disliked symbol of everything un-American about modern guitar playing. The animosity allegedly erupted in the mid-1980s when Malmsteen was conquering American rock with his classical training and extremely fast-playing techniques. According to a hee-haw guitarist, Haggard reportedly complained to fellow country veterans at a Nashville songwriters meeting that this Swedish player thought he could come to America and show Americans how to play guitar with his fancy European music school training. Haggard allegedly said that real American guitar came from honky-tonk bars and cotton fields, not from some classical music school across the ocean. This patriotic complaint allegedly spread through Music Row very quickly. What absolutely enraged Haggard wasn't merely Malmsteen's technical ability, but his foreign approach to what Haggard saw as an essentially American instrument. While Haggard viewed guitar as the voice of blue-collar American experience, Malmsteen was gaining fame with what Haggard reportedly called un-American showing off, elaborate classical exercises that, in Haggard's nationalist perspective, had no connection to the struggles and joys of American working people. Haggard allegedly told a Phoenix radio station in 1986 that guitar was an American instrument that should tell American stories. He reportedly said that when some European comes to America playing like he's in a symphony orchestra, he's missing the whole point of what American music represents. This conflict highlighted Haggard's belief that musical authenticity was tied to cultural and geographical origins. Jimi Hendrix and the Cultural Revolution. Perhaps the most surprising name on this list is Jimi Hendrix, the psychedelic guitar revolutionary who allegedly became the target of Haggard's deepest cultural resentment and patriotic anger. Despite Hendrix's status as an American musical icon and his tragic early death in 1970, he reportedly represented everything as Haggard opposed about the cultural changes happening in America. The tension reportedly originated in the late 1960s, when Hendrix was dominating counterculture with his feedback-heavy performances and anti-establishment songs. According to a Country Music Hall of Fame historian, Haggard reportedly told conservative Nashville executives at a private dinner that Jimi represented everything that had gone wrong with American youth and their music. Haggard allegedly said that Hendrix had turned the guitar into a weapon against traditional values, instead of celebrating what made the country great. These inflammatory comments allegedly revealed Haggard's deep frustration with the cultural revolution sweeping America. What truly disgusted Haggard wasn't just Hendrix's musical style, but his symbolic representation of rebellion against conservative American ideals. While Haggard was championing working-class patriotism and traditional family values, Hendrix was achieving legendary status with what Haggard reportedly called hippie noise pollution, performances that, in Haggard's traditionalist view, promoted drug culture and disrespect for American institutions. The rivalry reportedly became personal when both musicians represented opposite sides of the cultural divide that was splitting America in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Industry insiders claim Haggard viewed Hendrix as a traitor to American musical traditions, allegedly telling close friends that Hendrix had the talent to unite the country through music, but instead chose to divide it with what Haggard saw as anti-American messaging. Keith Richards and the ultimate betrayal. Taking the top position in these reported conflicts was Keith Richards, the Rolling Stones rhythm guitarist, who allegedly became Haggard's most despised musical figure. This animosity reportedly stemmed from what Haggard saw as cultural theft, British arrogance, and shameless exploitation of American blues traditions for commercial gain. The origins of this feud allegedly trace back to the mid-1960s, when both the Rolling Stones and Haggard were rising to prominence through completely different interpretations of American musical heritage. According to a Nashville music journalist, Haggard reportedly told fellow country artists at a Grand Ole Opry gathering that Keith and his British bandmates thought they could steal American blues and country traditions, then sell them back to Americans, like they had invented something new. Haggard allegedly called them musical carpetbaggers, who were profiting off American culture they had never lived or understood. This scathing assessment allegedly spread through Nashville's music establishment very quickly. The breaking point reportedly came when the Rolling Stones achieved massive American success, while traditional country artists struggled for mainstream recognition. Sources claim Haggard felt personally insulted by their approach, allegedly telling confidants that the British musicians built their empire on copying American music because they didn't have enough authentic culture of their own to draw from. The animosity reached legendary proportions during the 1970s, when both acts were touring extensively across America. Industry veterans claim Haggard became obsessed with exposing what he saw as British musical colonialism. He allegedly said at a Country Music Association Awards afterparty that the difference between Keith Richards and real American musicians was that American musicians lived the experiences they sang about, while the British musicians were just copying styles they had learned secondhand. The final confrontation reportedly came during a 1978 Nashville encounter where witnesses claim Richards dismissed country music as primitive. This allegedly prompted Haggard to declare the Rolling Stones the most successful con job in American music history. The conflict represented more than just musical differences. It embodied Haggard's belief that musical authenticity required cultural authenticity, and that foreign musicians, no matter how talented, could never truly understand or represent American musical traditions. The deeper philosophy. These reported conflicts reveal a consistent philosophy in Haggard's approach to music and guitar playing. Throughout all 6 alleged feuds, several themes emerge that show what Haggard believed music should accomplish and how the guitar should function within that framework. First, Haggard reportedly believed that guitar playing should serve the song and the story rather than dominating them. Whether criticizing Eddie Van Halen's athletic approach or Joe Satriani's instrumental focus, Haggard allegedly maintained that the guitar was a supporting instrument meant to enhance vocal storytelling rather than replace it or overshadow it. Second, Haggard reportedly valued emotional authenticity over technical perfection. His alleged criticisms of Steve Vai's calculated approach and Yngwie Malmsteen's classical training suggest he believed that genuine musical expression came from life experience and emotional honesty rather than academic study or technical exercise. Third, Haggard apparently held strong beliefs about cultural authenticity and American musical traditions. His reported conflicts with Keith Richards over British musicians appropriating American styles, and with Yngwie Malmsteen over European influences in American music, suggest he believed that musical authenticity was tied to cultural origins and lived experience. Fourth, Haggard allegedly believed that music should connect with and serve regular working people rather than impressing other musicians or educated audiences. His reported criticism that certain guitarists made music that needs a college degree to appreciate reflects his commitment to populist accessibility and musical expression. Finally, these reported conflicts suggest that Haggard saw guitar playing and music in general as having moral and cultural responsibilities. His alleged criticism of Jimi Hendrix for promoting counterculture values shows that Haggard believed musicians had a duty to support, rather than challenge traditional American values and institutions. The legacy of these conflicts. Whether these reported conflicts actually occurred as described, they represent important tensions in American music during the late 20th century. The alleged feuds highlight fundamental disagreements about the purpose of music, the role of technical skill versus emotional expression, and the relationship between musical authenticity and cultural identity. These reported conflicts also illustrate the broader cultural divide that existed in American society during the 1960s, 1970s, and 1980s. Haggard's alleged criticism of various guitarists can be understood as part of his broader resistance to cultural changes that he saw as threatening traditional American values and ways of life. The guitarists mentioned in these alleged conflicts, Eddie Van Halen, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Yngwie Malmsteen, Jimi Hendrix, and Keith Richards, all achieved enormous success and influence in their respective genres. Their approaches to guitar playing helped expand the possibilities of the instrument and influenced countless musicians. However, according to these reports, their innovations came at a cost that Haggard was unwilling to accept: the loss of connection to traditional American musical values and working-class experiences. These alleged conflicts ultimately reflect different visions of what American music should be and whom it should serve. Haggard's reported criticism of these guitarists represents a defense of populist, tradition-based musical values against what he apparently saw as elitist, foreign, or culturally destructive influences. Whether one agrees with his alleged positions or not, they represent an important perspective in American musical culture and highlight ongoing tensions about authenticity, tradition, and change in popular music.